Okay, and we're back. All right, here to talk about this story right here and give you my thoughts on it. So, without further ado, Hard Talk Radio. This is really sad. That's all I could tell you about it. Um, the thing is, though, I have a lot to say when it comes to these protests. I'm gonna leave it to the end. Protest bloodbath. Nicholas David Kraus charged with murder after killing woman and hurting 3 when car rammed into Winston Smith protesters. A man has been charged with murder after he allegedly crashed into a crowd of Black Lives Matter demonstrators, killing 1 and hurting 3 others while driving drunk over the weekend. Prosecutors say Nicholas Kraus, 35, was visibly intoxicated on Sunday night when he sped up and tried to jump a car that was being used as a barricade by protesters in Uptown, Minneapolis. Boy. Why didn't she, why wasn't the person using this car? I believe it was the woman here that was killed. That was her car, and she used that car to be as a barricade. I don't think that was a good idea. Could have called police presence, to ask for the police to be present while having this protest. Kraus, who was allegedly driving with a suspended license, told police that upon seeing the barricade, he felt that he needed to get over it. A criminal complaint states, rather than braking, he allegedly told investigators he decided to speed up despite seeing a crowd of people gathering nearby. Now, Kraus has several DWI violations. Several. Kraus ended up plowing into the car, killing a mother of 2, Deona Knajdek, 32, and injuring 3 others. Knajdek and the group had been protesting the death of Winston Boogie Smith. Now, I've done some research on this. I did read the article on him, and the guy does have a shady past. Also, the fact that U.S. Marshals don't wear body cams, and that's really fishy, and it's taking really long for them to get body cams, as well as the fact there could be information, visible, recorded information that is not being let out to the public for some reason. Okay. He was shot dead by police earlier this month after he allegedly pulled a gun during an arrest. Smith was wanted on a state arrest warrant for possession of a firearm by a felon. Yes, he did spend 2 to 3 years in prison for robbing and assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Now, according to the information I read, that there could be information stating that he did pull a gun and shoot first at the cops. There's nothing in the criminal complaint to suggest Kraus' actions were motivated by political views or anger at protesters. It does, however, say that he admitted that he thought he might have hit someone during the crash. He was arrested earlier Monday morning and initially booked on suspicion of criminal vehicular homicide, suspicion of driving after a license was canceled, and providing false information to the police. On Wednesday, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office upgraded the homicide charge against Kraus to murder in the second degree. The murder count alleges Kraus intended to cause death, but his actions were not premeditated. He was also charged with 2 counts of second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon for injuring 2 other protesters. Kraus will make his first court appearance on Friday. It wasn't immediately clear if he had an attorney to comment on his behalf. Being held at the Hennepin County Jail without bond. Kraus has 5 prior convictions for driving while impaired, dating back to 2007 incident, according to online court records. Court records also show his driver's license was canceled in 2013 because he was found to be inimical to public safety. A search warrant affidavit obtained by TV station Care 11 says Kraus admitted several times that he was responsible for Sunday's night crash without being asked, though gave a nonsensical answers when asked specific questions. The affidavit states that Kraus told police his name was Jesus Christ and Tim Burton, that he had been a carpenter for 2,000 years, and that he wanted to get his children to the Super Bowl. Police noted that his pupils were small and didn't react to sunlight, to flashlight. A sobriety test, a field sobriety test could not be performed because of the injuries, police said. What? Seriously? Oh, I watched the video on World Star Hip Hop. A black man was holding him down so the police could come and get him. He didn't look really too injured for me that he couldn't take a sobriety test. Knajdek was the first identified as the victim of the deadly crash by her distraught family members on Monday. Her brother, Garrett, told Star Tribune that his sister was using her car as a street blockade. That's what I said. That was not a good idea. When another vehicle struck her vehicle and her vehicle struck her. She constantly sacrificing herself for everyone around her. He said, no matter the cost. Oh, boy. I feel bad for the family. I really do. Protests have been ongoing in Uptown since members of the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force fatally shot Winston Bully Smith Jr., a 32-year-old black man and father of 3, on June 3rd. Authorities said they're trying to arrest Smith on a warrant for being a felon in possession of a firearm when he displayed a handgun from inside his parked SUV. The police also say evidence shows Smith fired his gun from the inside the SUV, but a female passenger said he never saw him with a gun. Okay. Minneapolis had been on edge since the death of George Floyd, who died last year after an officer used his knee to pin Floyd's neck to the ground, and the fatal police shooting of another black man, Daunte Wright, in a nearby suburb. On Tuesday, city crews began clearing and reopening streets near the site of Smith's shooting and Knajdek's death, but after police left, protesters moved back in and blocked the traffic. See, this is what I'm saying, man. This is all right. Now I'm going to just say what I got to say. All right. You guys have to understand something with common sense. There are people who don't like Black Lives Matter for this simple reason. You take it upon yourselves to block up streets and stuff instead of asking police presence and protection and having them be able to accommodate you and block off the street where that doesn't harm people who are using the streets to get to wherever they have to go. I mean, Black Lives Matter, they wanted to block a highway one time. Protesters. I'm like, are you kidding me? You got EMS and police officers have to use that highway to get to situations where crimes are being committed. Babies have to be delivered, and they're on their way to the hospital. People are dying and they need to be on their way in the hospital, and you're going to block this. This is the nonsense I'm talking about with Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter protesters. Okay, this type of nonsensical thinking is not good. And it's and people don't like you. You know that. And you're putting yourself in harm's way. Police say 30 people were arrested Tuesday night, with most receiving misdemeanor citations. The street was open to traffic Wednesday afternoon, though obstructions to traffic were removed. A memorial featuring messages in chalk and flowers left by mourners remained intact. To me, I just see this as, some things. She didn't have to die. She didn't have to die. That's how I see it. She didn't have to die because it's just common sense could have been used. Okay. How are these people take it upon themselves to own the street? You come there and you plot yourself down and you just don't think about anybody else. I'm not a fan on BLM organization for various reasons, but our people as a while got to learn how to use police to our advantage in certain situations. Exactly. Exactly. Because this is just dumb. It just is. I mean, she didn't have to die, and you're using your car as a barricade. It's not a police car. You're a civilian. I bet you this man saw. I mean, he was drunk, but if there was a police car there barricading it, he may have thought twice. May have. Because if the police are there to put their lives on the line, and you just put your car there, and you didn't think nothing was going to happen to you. Yet time and time again, you got people who don't like Black Lives Matter. I'm not for Black Lives Matter at all, especially for the crap that they do. They just go up there and they just want to take up traffic. You want to go into people's restaurants, drink their drinks that they paid for, and then when people fight back, you're a victim. Okay? Like I said, they'll take over a highway and block traffic, and then when they get run over, they're the victim. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. Like the video. I'm on Anchor. I'm on Spotify. I'm also on Instagram, latest news, and that's about it. We have plenty of evidence and situations observed to show that these folks want to run over people, yet folks didn't learn and have short memory and cry about it. Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, I'm not for, them getting run over, but you're blocking traffic, okay? And you're imposing yourself on other people. You're not asking police presence to be there to protect you and to make sure the flow of traffic is fine. You're not the only one there in that area that has to use it. And this is why I can't. It's hard for me to take. It's hard to have pity. It's hard to. I mean, I don't want to sound cold and unfeeling, but it's just like you do things like this. I mean, what do you expect to happen? I can't. This is why you look at Black Lives Matter like this is just some arm of the left. This is just communist, socialist, underlings just doing the will of the left side of the elite. That's it. There's no structure. There's no coming together. No real solution for tangibles. Nothing. Just virtue signaling, trinkets, and I just want to be heard. That's it. And they try to make her out like she's some sort of social justice warrior. The term social justice warrior is so diluted in what it's supposed to mean. You're actually standing up for rights of people, and you actually come up with tangibles that benefit people that are being oppressed. Like, for instance, we'll talk about reparations. Instead of just saying, we'll just give every Black person a check. No, we'll go and we will donate money to schools and give them better equipment to compete with other ethnic groups. And we'll also give classes on entrepreneurship, classes on automotive mechanics, classes on home ec, classes on reading literacy, classes on family planning. Put back rec centers in school, in high schools, and places where if kids come from troubled homes, they could go there and possibly spend the night and learn things away from, getting away from toxic family members. I remember a Black principal, he saw a kid that he came to school always with dirty clothes. So what he did, he put in a laundry washing machine and a dryer in part of the school, and the kids could wash his clothes and go to school with clean clothes. See, that's tangibles. Okay. Money will be needed because needed for economic foundation. Yes. But the thing is like with the left, how they brainwash most Blacks there. They just think putting a sign, a Black Lives Matter sign, or naming a George Floyd, giving a 700-pound statue of George Floyd, that's just fine. Instead of like working on problems with corrupt police on the force, like Spencer Finch, qualitative immunity needs to be modified, stuff like that. Breaking the no snitching culture, stuff. Reform has to be on both sides, the black community and the police department. All right. Donation programs will seep into other groups. They will eventually touch Hispanics, Asians, and whites. Yeah. When it comes to like doing stuff for blacks, it has to be for blacks and only for blacks. And I mean, if you live in the black community, you're non-black, yeah, you could have advantage to these programs too. And let's say you got dirty clothes, you want to get your clothes washed as a student. Okay, it's not a laundromat. It's meant for kids who have come from troubled home environments. That's it. They'll always figure out a way to benefit out of that they give us. Yeah. Which is why I also say you have to leave the Democratic and Republican plantation. The Democratic and Republican plantations, they're both plantations, house Negro, field Negro. There's no other way around it. I don't want to hear, I don't care if you say like Trump is helping no, Trump is a puppet, just like they're all puppets. If you go into that type of environment, arena, you have to be dirty just like them, or you will end up dead. That's just how it is. Okay. I mean, if you look at the overview of Washington, D.C., you'll see it's a pentagram. Okay. What does that tell you? Yeah, it's going to the conspiracy arena, but guess what? The conspiracies I'm going to be talking about is actually conspiracy facts. With the whole 9 yards about the Astors, the Vanderbilts. Yeah. Okay. We're actually living in feudal times, but it's with the allure of democracy. Countries owned by families. All right. I think I've done enough ranting. You know what to do. Get the likes up. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Anchor.fm, Instagram, latest news, and what else? Holonis, HOLONIS, Hard Talk Radio. And that's it. Of course, Pro Street Beat, all relevant info. On to the next story. Later.